Hello everyone, welcome back to the table and welcome back to Skyrim. This is the Gate to Sovngarde edition. Before we get into that, however, there are a couple things I would like to bring up, I guess. First of all, I know it has been some time since I have updated anything or uploaded anything. The reason it is because I got a new job, and since I started that, it took me a while to adjust to the schedule, and I've had my schedule changed multiple times. But I have now reached a point where I feel like I have time and energy to record again. And also since then, I have completely updated everything for my computer and my recording setup. Brand new computer, brand new mic, and because of that, I'm now able to play games the way I've wanted to for quite a while now, including mod packs, or collections as they're called on the Nexus website, of Skyrim. Now, this one caught my attention for a few reasons. One being that it is the most endorsed, and also it had the most downloaded at the time that I downloaded this. And it has a lot of the same mod themes that I was portraying in my previous playthroughs. And with that, I'm hoping I can basically continue to try to do the same thing as far as making it kind of like a main quest focused Let's Play. I have technically only beaten Skyrim's main quest once in the many years and hours that I've played it, just because I've been too distracted role-playing a character a certain way without really thinking of main quest material. So it's kind of my goal to beat the main quest again, and it helps a lot because it has Rise of the Dragon Cult mod, where you have to go around and defeat all of the named dragon priests to weaken Alduin, because Alduin has been modded to be an insane, like, eater of worlds like he's supposed to be. And there's another mod, I forget what it's called, but it's the same concept, but it's with Miraak. So it's definitely stuff that I had in my previous playthroughs. And this is the third iteration, or third attempt to record and play Skyrim. So hopefully, well, I'm definitely going to make it, I'm going to be determined to actually do the best I can to make an awesome story and Let's Play of this. And third time's the charm, I suppose. Without further ado, let's start a new game. Alright, welcome to character creation, the best part of this game. We're going to play a Breton. Now, I must be honest that I know there are a lot of mods in this mod pack. I believe there are 1,700 of them. I don't at all know all of them, not by any means. So there are some that I'm familiar are in here as far as how they work. I might not know how they are, what they are by name. I like the hair. I'm just gonna do more of a beard. That works. So, like, for example, I don't know the name of this alternate start mod. So I have decided to bring back to the channel Uthastyr. Just because I really enjoyed his character concept. Thank you for installing Gate to Sovngarde. Press OK and wait while everything is setting up. You will receive a message when ready. Basically, there's a macro in the background running the MCM menu, essentially, to configure all of the mods in that list to be what the mod maker wanted for the experience. I will have a link of this, of Gate to Sovngarde and the Nexus mod site in the description. It does take a bit of time, unfortunately. Gate to Sovngarde has configured correctly. Speak to the dragon and exit the room when ready. Cool beans. There is this note here. Is this a dream? Who am I? What am I doing here? There's only one way to find out. I should gather my gear, speak to the messenger, and exit this room. Destiny awaits. Pretty straightforward. Another thing to mention, so this is definitely going to be a showcase as far as what this mod pack offers and what it is. I'm calling it a mod pack because that's easier to say for me and understand what it is than a collectible, because that's what it's labeled as on the Nexus site. Oh, wrong thing. Balance gear. Choose your experience. Gate to Sovngarde can be challenging. You can enable story mode for an easier experience. It grants the compass and sneak eye perks from the start, reduces stamina consumption, makes combat a bit easier, and ensures your followers won't die, among other changes. You can also disable survival mode and adjust the general difficulty under settings gameplay. We are going to do the default experience. Story mode is basically as if you were just going to play Skyrim as normal, with all of these other mods, of course. It's less of a hardcore experience. Alright. Oh, hi, messenger. Anyway, let us start. Oh, yeah. So we are a Breton. One thing I like about this mod pack is that it has the Skyrim suite stuff that I was running with before. And in this case, it has, I believe it's Aetherius is the racial mod, overhaul mod. And because of that, we have Breton ancestry. Your magic resistance is increased by 25%, and you have a 10% chance to absorb the magicka from incoming spells, which is beautiful. That's a wonderful thing. There is Skyrim reputation. As an unknown Breton, you are assumed to be somewhat shady and self-serving. I assume that is just because Bretons have a tendency in Skyrim anyway to be associated with Forsworn. Let's choose our spells first. In this little end table you have, I believe these are all of the vanilla novice spells that you can get. So we already have Oak Flesh and Healing. So let us get Candlelight and Calm. Now we do have Conjure Spectral Wolf innately as a Breton. I'm probably going to ignore that just because I'm not a huge fan of Conjuration. Unless I really want to have that as a core part of the character, which definitely Uthastyr is not a conjurer. For armor, let's get the leather. Now, some of you might think that having this huge list of stuff you can just take is a bit cheaty. It's not necessarily cheating, in my opinion. It just makes the game that just a little bit easier because it can be very, very rough. Forgot the belt lantern and face mask. Okay. Oh, belt lantern is just there. Okay, interesting. I know L is to get rid of the light. From the chest, let us do that. We are going to go with pike. Pikes do have, because of wonderful mods, a different animation than like in previous or in other mods. You would have, for example, let's say immersive weapons. Spears, I believe, were technically battle axes as far as their type, so they had that animation. But in this mod pack, first of all, they're held differently, as you can see. They're actually more similar to, I was about to say crossbow, but they're actually not at all like crossbows. They have a different animation. Definitely that thrusting spear animation. So I think we're going to have that as our melee weapon. Oh, actually, just as a backup, let's have an iron sword. Or should we go with the war axe? Because I know with war axes, let's see what Simon Rin does. Swords and daggers, they do the critical damage like usual. Hack and slash. War axes deal extra damage over time. Basically simulating bleeding damage. War axes deal 3 times as much damage over time. That could be interesting, actually. Yeah, for some fun, let's do the war axe. They technically swing a bit slower, but they deal technically 1 more damage than a sword, but that's fine. Let's definitely take these. Sure, I don't know if a hammer is actually useful or not. We could have 3,000 gold, but I think that's a bit much. Yeah, let's not have the 3,000. Let's just have the jewelry. I would take the septums, but unfortunately you can't break this down. Like if I click E, it'll all go in. Oh, but I can do this. Oh, okay, never mind. Let us drop 2,000. Actually, no, I still think that's a bit much. How about 2,500? Oh, that's fair. He's a hunter after all. He's not meant to be the most rich person in the world. Now, this is a book of traits. This is actually my favorite part of this alternate start mod. I actually don't know if this book of traits is inherently part of this alternate start mod, but it definitely is a cool touch. You can choose up to 3 traits that define who your character is. Traits are permanent and cannot be changed once you exit this room. So you definitely have to pick very carefully what you want. Now, to be fair, I have already done some playtesting. Actually, I've attempted a recording of this once before. So I decided to go with Beast Hunter. You deal 25% more damage to animals, insects, trolls, and giants, but 25% less to everyone else. If you remember, you can go back to the previous Uthastyr series playlist to refamiliarize yourself with who this individual is. Let us go with... what was the other one? Oh yeah, Gentle Thief. Sneaking no longer costs stamina, but you deal 75% less damage with weapons and magic while sneaking. So it's a significant decrease to damage. So there's no longer the stealth archer meme, but I can now dedicate a lot of my stamina now while I'm sneaking to actually dealing damage, which is reduced, but it's not like I have to sneak up to where I want to be, hunker down, and just sit and wait. And I'll go with marksman. You deal 15% more damage with bows and crossbows, but 15% less with magic and other weapons. That is fine. 3 of 3 items selected. Now, if you want to, you can have a bit of fun and randomize this, so you could get some really weird combinations. However, with how difficult this mod pack is, in my opinion, if you want to have a solid character, definitely do things that have synergy with each other. Because if you don't, it could make the game very challenging.
Destiny calls you. Go to it.
Yes, Messenger or Parthenax, whoever you are. Let us do... I did this start when I did the playtest. I actually really enjoyed it because with Angi's camp, you get a huge increase to your archery without paying for training. And it was a really cool... Oh, and you get a cool bow at the end. The only thing that was annoying is that when you go down the trail from where Angi's camp is, you come across this small camp of like 3 bandits, I think, and they are actually pretty tough at the start of the game. And when I went into the forest, because I was on my way to Falkreath and I wanted to just bypass them, circumvent them, I got to a point where the trees, because there's a tree mod that gives you a lot more trees, thick canopy and everything, I was moving around and then the game crashed, which was fun. And that ended that recording session, and I didn't want to try to recover it. I just wanted to start from scratch again because that was a bit of a letdown, honestly. However, I might do that again. I could do Alchemist in the wild, which would be interesting. But he's not solely an alchemist. That's the thing. His main shtick is being a hunter. And honestly, it's the only thing in this list that I can tell that gives you the option to start as an actual hunter and roleplay that out. So let's say that, let's autosave. In case anything goes wrong, I can just revert back to this. He had been, Uthastyr that is, has been traveling Skyrim, as you know, from the first playthrough I made of Uthastyr. He's been traveling and hunting around Skyrim, basically getting away from the horrible life that he had lived before in being raised and all that. And he had heard rumors of a woman up in the mountains near Falkreath. Wasn't told the name or anything. And he has just, in the morning, on the 17th of last seed, he has approached, walked along this path, and it took him a number of days to find this place, but this is the only place that he's come across that even remotely seems to be the appropriate location or description. We're going to stick It's the same damage. So I think we're just going to stick with the war axe. It'd be cool if a war pick could be used as a pickaxe. That'd be kind of cool. I know this is a little immersive breaking, but it has to be done. Okay, we have a bit of food on top of what we grabbed in that little room. We have the spell tomes. Oh, as you can see, the menu isn't pausing. That's part of what makes this game really difficult. Or this mod pack, rather. The thing about spell tomes, you don't consume them like you do in vanilla and other mods. What you do is, based on your skill, you take time to actually learn the spell. And even when you're done learning the spell, you have the book on you. So you can either store it on a shelf, if you're like an academic type, or you can sell it. We are warm, apparently. Oh yeah, we're like at 160 or something like that. 165 for warmth, so we're doing pretty good. Ma'am? Hello?
Name's Angie, and if you try anything stupid, I won't hesitate to put an arrow in your head.
Calm down. I'm not going to hurt you.
Sorry, a girl can't be too careful out here. Like I said, name's Angie, and I've been living out here for a couple of years now.
Why live out here all by yourself?
I moved here from Helgen after my family was killed. At the time, I couldn't stand to be around anyone. They all felt sorry for me, and I didn't want them to. It was my problem, not theirs.
Who killed your family? Wants me to take care of them? Not that he's much of a bounty hunter, but he figured he could ask.
Part of the reason I'm living out here now. Thanks for offering, though.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry about your
Don't be
family.
like them. Don't feel sorry for me.
Okay. What are those targets for?
I set up those targets a long time ago. I shoot at them from time to time. Don't want to get rusty with my bow.
Fair enough. Are you any good with your bow?
That I am. You know how to use one?
Yes, I do.
Well, let me know if you ever want to practice. If you need a bow, there's one on the rack to the left of the door.
Okay.
I've got my eye on you.
Oh. That bit of dialogue, I believe, is due to the Skyrim reputation mod. Because I'm a Breton, and immediately disposition has me toward a shady and self-serving individual, people are gonna have that reaction. Okay, so like you normally would with Angie, you would, or is it Angi? I'll listen to it again. Anyway, you could do basically each practice run, one right after the other. I might not do that, actually. I might, because he spent his time coming up here to essentially learn from this individual who has developed some kind of rapport, or reputation at least, either by rumor or from a person who has met Angie and had decided to tell others. However he managed to come across that, he wants to learn from her. Having a bit of difficulty with the tent, apparently. Interesting. Anyway, he's going to take his time here, I believe, for a few days. We have food, and luckily this mod because of survival mode and frostfall, and we don't have to worry so much about drinking. It's more of a food thing. So let's take up on her offer and at least do the first lesson.
Yes? Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin.
Perfect.
My father was rarely home, so it was my mother who actually taught me how to use a bow.
Well, it's not very often for the mother to be the one who's doing all of the archery work.
She always said composure was the key to a successful archer.
Good advice.
Remain calm, even in the midst of chaos. Your arrow will most likely find its target. Okay, let's see what you can do. Remember to stay within the boundaries and only use the practice arrows. I have some if you don't have any. Aim for the middle target. Only use the practice arrows.
Oh, my bad.
Nice shot, right on target. Now hit the target to the left.
Now keep in mind, I believe I started this game with a 10 in archery.
Nice shot. Now hit the target to the right. Nice shot, right on target. Let me know if you want to practice some more. Make it more challenging.
That was easy enough, I suppose. Oh, wow. Uthastyr is so good that he can bend time and space, apparently. I'm almost tempted to see if I can disable that. Oh, that's cool. There we go. So it actually highlights what you clicked. That's actually really cool. Was that the iron arrow? Maybe that was a script error. That'd be pretty interesting. Anyway. Oh, this very secluded and actually very defensible place to set up camp. And only for a couple years. Very impressive. Do these shutters close? No, they don't. Right, if I step inside for a moment? Learn some magic? I'm obviously not going to steal anything because Uthastyr doesn't really do that. Let's start with Candlelight. You have not studied this tome before. With your current knowledge, basically what your skill level is at, it will take you approximately 3 hours to learn this spell. How long do you wish to study? Let's do the full 3 hours, might as well. Hunger. Thanks, game, for the immersion breaking experience. You have learned Candlelight. You study Candlelight for 3 hours. Alright, so it's still in my inventory. You already know Candlelight. Cool. What time is it? 3:40. I kind of wish there was a dummy that I could use to practice my pike. Actually, that's something that I just realized. Is there something in here for extra weapons? Okay, Great swords and spears have a 10% chance to do more critical damage. Rip and tears for battle axes. And this is for warhammers and quarterstaffs. Okay. So if we were going to do stuff with the pike, we would want to go this spear route. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, let's eat something first. Let's go with a soup. I have mixed feelings about that sound effect. Let's see if there's anything in these pots. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need that. Wait, do we have ingredients? No, we don't. That's fine. So, I guess... So you don't have to go through the grind or to watch this. I'm going to real quick basically skip time until we reach our next lesson. We do have a level up, so we might as well take care of that. And I will pause the recording and come back to you after I have slept and it is the next day. Well, that was unexpected. Huh. Well, welcome to the morning. We woke up cold, which we're going to go right back inside to warm up. And we're going to eat some food. An apple pie gets you from peckish to well-fed, apparently. Okay, well, I was going to, do a little bit of a more archery practice, but I think it's time to actually harvest these saber cats. Now, one thing you'll notice, so there is a variety of like meat and other things from this. And you'll see that time will pass. A couple of hours pass while you retrieve the pelt. Basically meaning looting. And looks very, very grim and grisly, but that's the nature of harvesting animals, I suppose. Couple more hours pass, and we are cold, chilly. Let's get back in here. Yeah, what time is it now? Oh, 1:30. All right. So we'll warm up. Now, one thing I don't know is how we actually get to see what perks we have. I don't know if it's with the, like what you do with campfire, with the campfire mod where you get to have exposure and camping skills and their perks. I don't know if it's based off of that menu. I don't think it's not in the skills, obviously. Huh. That's something I will definitely look into. I had a feeling at one point that it was actually this. But I think that is only, this is only for food, basically. Use campfire. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Let's do it. Awesome. I don't like how in first person it sometimes takes a while to actually break out of first person. Like I want to go, or third person rather. Like I want to get to, I'm clicking F right now, and I'm not going to first person. It's actually really annoying. I'm actually stuck. I can't even scroll to go in and out of it. Let's actually go inside of this and see if that fixes it. Nope. Alright, just a moment. Okay, I'm experimenting something. Because I know sometimes when you are doing things like this, you can kind of break it. Because I was trying to do a simple... Okay. I don't want to be in first person, or third person. What is going on? Controls? Toggle POV, yeah, it's F. I'm not liking this. Oh, okay. I guess I had to activate another animation to force myself back into first person. That is weird. Okay, I'm not going to interact with that campfire anymore. Do I actually get the same menu out of this? It looks like... Oh, it's slightly different. This is like your normal... like vanilla Skyrim cooking, while the one outside I think is more for the hunting mod that's in this mod pack. Anyway, enough lollygagging. I'm ready for some more practice.
Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin. My older brother took me out hunting a lot when I was little.
That tent is a real issue, isn't it? Yes. Skyrim being Skyrim. As you were saying?
At the time, it was difficult to keep food on the table, let alone have enough left over to sell at the market.
Ah, I've been there.
So whenever we came across more than one deer in a single location, it was imperative we kill as many as we could.
Fair.
If you can learn to keep your composure and trust that each shot is true, then you should be able to quickly handle multiple targets. When I tell you to, try and hit each of the 3 closest targets in 8 seconds.
Alright, I'll try.
I'll count to 3 and then say go. You have 8 seconds to hit each of the 3 targets. Draw string and get ready.
Draw steel.
1, 2, 3. Go! You did it! All 3 targets in 8 seconds. Nice job.
Thank you.
Let me know if you want to practice some more. Next time we'll make it a little more challenging.
Wow, that level up sound effect is really loud in my ears. Alright. Well, Uthastyr is going to, again, spend time talking, hanging out, learning more from Anji. And we're going to skip the rest of the day, and I will be back to you when we are at the beginning of the next day.
Hello, friend.
Hello. Good morning to you. I'm going to warm up. Luckily, we did not wake up to a cat fight just outside the tent. Oh. Oh, I'm just fed at this point. Interesting. So there's another mod that there's like a... It's called Realistic Decay. I mean, the saber cats were literally like killed yesterday, and just as I was, about to go to sleep, they were already decomposed to bones. I don't think that is realistic. It just, yeah, it's. Oh, interesting. So it gives you an opportunity to grab more stuff. I mean, that's cool, I guess. It's just not very realistic as far as the decomposing process. Alright, let's practice some more.
Well, my friend, how can I help you?
Well, I'm ready for some more.
Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin. We've talked about speed and composure. Now we'll go over precision.
Ah, okay. Yeah, most of the tips he's been given as far as hunting, he's actually had to learn on the job and from fellow hunters that he's come across. But Anji's on a whole other level.
Oftentimes you won't be able to get as close to your prey as you'd like, and you'll have to settle with a long shot. However, with such a long shot, it's more than likely that's the only shot you'll be able to take before your prey runs off.
Yeah, that's happened to me a lot.
If you find yourself in such a situation, then you need to make your shot count. Don't rush your shot. Crouch down, get comfortable, and take aim.
Okay.
Okay, your turn. Try and hit the target way in the back, far behind the other three. Remember to take your time and make your shot count.
All right.
Nice shot, right on target. Let me know if you want to practice some more. Next time we'll make it a little more challenging.
Oh, so first level up, I picked stamina. Second, I picked health. And as you can see, I've already picked the first perks in archery and light armor. Just makes the most sense.
Good to see you again.
Same to you as well. Well, since that was a short lesson, I think Uthastyr is going to warm up some more and spend time learning Calm. Okay, so it'll take another 3 hours, which is fine. Hey, we have learned Calm. So actually, since that's the case, let us favorite those. Alright, well, I will be back with you when it is the next day. You dreamed yourself in a broken building filled with silent and sleeping people. You stood in the doorway, regarding them with solemn silence. As you watched, each rose and every one of them had your face. You stepped outside. In time, you see a parade of nobles and their soldiers passing by, and every one of them had your face. Awaken. Whoa. Let us go with sneak. Why not? Definitely feeling chilly. I was going to go and pick speech because Uthastyr does have bartering experience because of selling his wares from his hunting. But I chose with sneak. obviously, as you saw. Said that I'm fed, so let's just go with one of these. I am warm. Okay, I'm ready for some more.
Well met, friend. How can I help you? Excellent. Follow me to the targets and we'll begin. We've talked about composure, speed, and precision.
Uh-huh.
Now it's time to use all three at once.
Ooh boy.
I'm warning you now. This challenge will be quite difficult. Just remember everything I've taught you, and you should be able to complete it. It
Okay.
might take you a couple of tries, but that's what practice is all about.
Definitely, yes.
When I tell you to, try and hit all 4 targets in 10 seconds.
10 seconds? Okay.
I'll count to 3 and then say go. You have 10 seconds to hit each of the 4 targets. Draw string and get ready. 1, 2, 3, go! You did it!
Oh, okay.
4 targets in 10 seconds. Nice job.
Thank you. Oh, alright. Just as I was releasing the arrow, my mouse shifted to the right just a little bit. I was worried I was going to miss that last target. Wow. Okay. What am I now at? 35? Yeah, and I started at 10 when I started the game. I have no idea if that is mod shenanigans going on or if that's actually... I don't remember it being that drastic in vanilla. Well... She didn't mention there was more to do.
Need something?
Are we finished with practice then?
I think I've taught you everything I know. You might even be as good as me now.
I sure
Kind of
hope so.
scary if I think about it.
Thanks for helping me out.
It was my pleasure. It's not often I get visitors out here, let alone friendly ones. Thanks for sticking around and keeping me company.
Of course.
It was nice to finally meet someone out here who doesn't want to rob you or take off your head. I know it isn't much, but here, take this bow. It was given to me by my family. It's special to me, but brings back too many painful memories.
Oh. Alright, if you insist.
Be careful and stay safe.
Thank you. Anji's bow reduces enemy movement and attack speed by 10% for 30 seconds. That's actually not horrible. It deals the same damage as a hunting bow. You know what? He'll use it. He doesn't exactly want to... That's... Considering her story and what she's been through, especially at the hands of the Imperials, that's definitely a very rough path to go. He is definitely going to take the bow. He's not going to sell it. And even if he does come across a better tool of his trade, basically, he will definitely keep it as a keepsake. Well, I think Uthastyr is going to finish the day off. So he's going to head back to the shack. Talk more with Anji. And yeah. I will be back with you in just a moment. You dreamt of yourself answering the gauntlet for a slighted lover. As your beloved hung back, you stepped up to challenge the brutish foe with bared fists, a favor of a handkerchief tucked into your sleeve. The bout began, and it may as well have never started, for you swiftly brought your foe to the ground. You turned back to bask in victory then, and a nearby bard began to strike up in song. Huh. Well, let's choose that speech perk. As you can hear, I am chilly. Let us get back inside. Well, so the morning of the 4th day in Anji's camp, and after learning a lot about marksmanship and the patience it takes, that it requires to become an excellent hunter, that is where we are going to leave Uthastyr this time around. So I hope you enjoyed that. There are definitely elements of this that I'm very rusty at. Again, it's been some time since I've recorded anything. So if things do come up, either audio, I mean, that's really all I worry about, honestly, but audio, even maybe editing things that you might have noticed that could use improvement, definitely mention them in the comments. On that note, if you could please share, comment, like, and subscribe, that would be a great help, actually. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time at the table. Bye-bye.